Welcome back to another lesson in blue chip discounts, and we're going to just go over how to track your profits, because this is something I see people get sort of caught up in and confused, because these trades play out over a longer period of time. So it's very important that we just track each leg to ensure that we are understanding how much profit or loss we're making on each time. So let's run the wheel on AT&T. First thing we do is we've got to sell a cash secured put. So I've got all of the actions here lined up for you. So we're going to sell a cash secured put. Date, let's just use today's date. Going to sell one contract, so 100 shares. We're going to sell 100 shares. Let's go to Tastyworks. And we want to sell a put option. And we are going to do it 28 days to expiry, because we've got an earnings announcement on the 22nd. So I don't want to be in the trade while the earnings announcement is going on. So let's do 28 days, very low IV, but that doesn't matter too much because it's just an example. And we want to sell a short put option. So once again, close to 30 delta, and we want at least 1% of the stock price to be the price of the option. In this case, we've got 55 cents, which is about just shy of 2%. So not too bad for a 35 delta. It's got a 35% chance of being assigned. So we've got 55 cents. So we're going to get 55 bucks for selling the option. So the trade is now open. So I've even got a status here for you. Just for this example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just run through a hypothetical trade. In a future lesson, what I'll do is I'll show you a real trade as well. A real execution of the wheel over many months. But for now, just going to show you the hypothetical version using this profit and loss tracker sheet. So let's just say we're going to buy back our options after 2 weeks, or if it's 50% of the price we paid. So I'm going to close this, and to close that, I bought to close the cash secured put. And that happened on the 4th of April. There we go. And I paid 27 cents, so about half. So you can see here, this fills in automatically for you. And now we have our P&L on the right hand side here. So the running P&L is 28 bucks on the trade, because that's how much we made. We got $55 for selling the cash secured put, and then we bought it back for half the price. So we paid 27 bucks to buy it back. Now let's say we do it again. We're going to sell another one, and we're going to do it on the 23rd of April. Just after the earnings announcement, and we're going to get the same price. So this is open now, and as you can see here, P&L updates whenever you enter a new leg of the trade. So now, instead of buying to close the cash secured put, what we're going to do is we're going to say we've been assigned. So we've been assigned the cash secured put, the stock price fell, and we've actually gotten assigned. So that happened at the end of the option contract. We'll say that was the 21st of May. And because we were selling puts at 29 bucks, that was the strike price. So we are taking ownership at 29 bucks. So we've paid $2,900 to buy 100 shares of AT&T. So you see now our P&L changes. But we own the shares now, so don't worry that this P&L number is negative. The thing to understand is this number here. This is our cost basis. So we have to sell calls above this number to remain profitable. And as you can see here, I've written it down if you forget. This number's only valid if you have an assigned stock position. And this number is only accurate when all positions are closed. When you are assigned and when you are owning the stock, it's just the cost basis. And if you're doing more than one option at a time, you can actually change this number. But just for now, we're doing one option contract. So the next leg of the trade is actually to sell a covered call. So we're going to sell, instead of a put option, we're going to sell a call option. And same thing again. We're going to go, well, we're kind of in the middle here. Let's go with the 30 strike. A little bit closer to the money than we'd like, but 44 delta, it's okay, because we're going to get paid 48 cents. So we're going to sell the call option. And just one thing to note, if you do use Tastyworks, if you're selling a covered call on Tastyworks, you don't want to select short call covered as the option. You want to sell short call option, because if you already own the stock, Tastyworks knows that. So if the price rises and you are assigned the covered call, it's going to sell your shares automatically. It's not going to penalize you, or you're not going to get a margin call, for example, because it knows you're not naked on the position. It knows you have the stock to actually sell. So it's not going to penalize you, so you just sell the call option on a stock that you already own. So we got $30 as the strike price, 45 delta, and bid's gone down to 47. So we're going to just input that now. Let's just say we're on the 29th of May now. And we're getting it 47 cents. So actually this is closed and this is now open. So you can see here what's going to happen is our cost base is actually going to decrease, because remember, this is a credit. This is money coming in. So now we've got to sell calls above this level to remain profitable. And the more times you roll the option and keep selling the covered calls and keep selling the cash secured puts, the lower your cost basis will be. So let's just say we do this. We're going to buy to close the covered call. And as you can see, I've got all elements of the trade on both the credit and the debit side already listed. So it's just a drop down menu and you just fill that in. So let's say 16th of June, 100, and okay, it's going to be half the price. Let's do 23 cents. There we go. And as you can see here, this now increases a little bit because we've paid to buy back the option. So let's do one more time. We're going to sell the covered call. Let's say it was the 18th of June. 100 shares. We're going to pay the same price again. Remember, this is all hypothetical. This is just to show you how to use the spreadsheet. This is now open. So once again, cost basis is going to go down. 27.46. That's the price we're looking to sell calls above. So we're going to do it one more time. But this time, we're actually going to get assigned the covered call. So one thing to note here, if you get assigned the covered call, you're selling the shares. So that's actually a credit. So you're not going to this side of the sheet. You were staying on this side. So we're selling the covered. So that's the assignment. So one thing to know now is when we get assigned, that is a credit. So we're not going to the debit side of the sheet. We're staying on the credit side. So we're going to click covered call assignment. And we're going to say that that was on the 14th of June. No, 14th of July, sorry. So 100. So instead of putting the credit here, we're putting the share price. So the strike that we sold out was 30. So the share price was $30. So we've got $3,000 for the shares. That's now closed. And we're going to go over to our P&L. And this is the accurate P&L because we no longer have any open positions. So we've made $254 on the trade. That's how you track profit and loss using the wheel. And you can see here, total credits minus total debits gives us our final number. Now that you don't have any open positions, you can ignore this number and you can only focus on this number. So you'll know if you filled this in correctly if this column has 2 more entries than the debit side. So for this example, I've got 5 entries on the credit side and 3 on the debit side. You're always going to have 2 more on this side because the final leg is the covered call assignment leg, and that goes on the credit side. So I hope that was useful for you, and you can get your own copy of the sheet by just clicking File, Make a Copy. Please do not request access to the sheet. All of those requests will be ignored, but you can get your copy when you just click File, Make a Copy. And what I would recommend just as a best practice is every time you do a new cycle of the wheel, just right click, duplicate, and then that will give you a copy of the spreadsheet. All the formulas are already filled in, so you don't have to change anything. Just fill in the positions, fill in the actions, and just make sure you've got the number of shares correct. One contract is 100 shares, and just make a note of which one of these you're focused on. If you've got an assigned stock position, it's this one that you're focused on. Try to sell calls above. If you don't have an assigned position, then you're looking at your total profit and loss numbers. So I hope that was useful. And in the next video in this series, I'm going to be taking you through a live version of this trade over the course of a number of months. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.